Well, have fun, police. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Well, Chief Allie Philippus in San Antonio isn't an idiot when he threw the Delta Force out in May, but you won't research that. Hey, what's going on, guys?
Don't you ever rap?
You're about to see an interview we conducted in mid-May in 1998 with the Chief of Police of San Antonio, Texas, Chief Allie Philippus. The chief was very concerned about what he called the attempts at bribery by Army Special Operations Delta Force. Also, the endangerment of public safety, all very serious issues. This interview is a watershed event because, as far as we know, this is the first time that local law enforcement, local police leadership has actively stood up against Bill Clinton's new military, or the globalist New World Order type military, where they come into towns and terrorize the public. Again, God bless Chief Allie Philippus.
What were your major reservations in asking the mayor to tell them that y'all didn't want them to train here and to cease training here?
Well, a lot of things happened. First of all, the organization came into the city and never really approached the city as a whole. We're gotten together with the mayor and said we need to speak to all these different departments and request some assistance. Various groups and individuals came into the city and approached different people at different levels. The police department was contacted, the city manager's office was contacted about using city facilities, various business owners were contacted through the economic development department, the fire department was contacted by different individuals, and so there was never any coordinated approach to the city of San Antonio. When we found out of that, we had some reservations, but we were willing at least to listen. But then we started finding out that discussions were happening at other different levels, and there was no communication, no coordination between that. We also found out that leases had been negotiated with private business people throughout the city to utilize their vacant buildings without any coordination with the police department, because we were originally told there were probably going to be a couple of locations, and later on we find out that there's 12 locations. And yet we were never brought into this at the beginning.
Why did the mayor, and I heard this quoted on KTSA, San Antonio 550 station, 2 days ago, I heard it quoted that the mayor said that he didn't appreciate the dishonesty of the Delta Force. I was curious. We called the mayor's office, and they, Jackie O'Donnell, I believe is her name, she told us that you were the mayor's spokesman on this. Can you tell us exactly why the mayor would use such strong language and call them dishonest?
Well, I think that there were various approaches. For example, when I originally said no several weeks ago, matter of fact, a couple of months ago, but no was never no, and then no was never no. End of runs were done around to various community leaders. I had someone...
Excuse me, sir, you're saying that they ignored the police chief, and under our Constitution, you're the same as the sheriff, and you run the city or the county? You're telling me that Delta Force was ignoring your order? Well,
I don't want to say they ignored it, but in a roundabout way, yes, because what they would do, once I said no, they went to various individuals in the community to bring pressure to bear to get me to change my mind. For example, there was a community leader who I have a great deal of respect for, and we have a very good relationship that they went to. I get a call from him, and he says, Chief, there's some people in here that they're in town, and it was part of their role here. It didn't say who it was. They need to meet with the mayor and the police chief. Well, of course, this gentleman, I've worked very closely with him on a number of projects. I said, sure, have him give me a call. Now, I'd already said no. Well, then I find out it's the same group. So they identified somebody, apparently, that I know that's very high in the community to make an approach to me and get me to change my mind. Well, then, when we said no, then some elected officials were contacted to bring pressure to bear. And then offers were made to give money, cash money, to elected officials' charities if they could get us to change our minds. I mean, you know, as one of my deputy chiefs said, in some circles that's called bribery.
Well, it is called bribery, but more importantly, it's called manipulation of the constitutional system and the takeover of local police departments.
You talked about a memo from Delta Force?
Yeah, because what happened is various elected officials were being contacted. I have 10 city council members and a mayor, and I just wanted to alert them as to what was happening. that these situations were occurring, that they might be contacted by these individuals, and that in the best interest of public safety. And that's what I continue to fall back on. We didn't feel that it was in the best interest of the citizens of San Antonio to do that type of thing. All I can say is that, no just never seemed to be no. And even after they told us, we don't need you, we're still going to do our training exercise at other locations in and around the San Antonio area, but we're not doing them here. Next time, I'm still getting contacted by various officials. I mean, they never would take no for an answer.
So they weren't respecting your jurisdiction?
They were not respecting our jurisdiction. I don't think they respected our decision to go into predominantly minority areas of the city where we had vacant warehouses and buildings and try to do those types of exercises at those locations in the middle of the night.
Oh, I'm sorry, middle of the night?
In the middle of the night. Sometime between 9 p.m. and midnight. I mean, people become frightened. And we do a lot of our decision-making on experiences that have happened in a lot of other cities. We were very concerned with some things that have happened over there, and we didn't get any real good, clear answers.
So they were being secretive about it?
Very secretive.
And you kind of, the city and the mayor and yourself, as the police chief, you kind of felt that it was a little odd that they wouldn't trust y'all. I mean, y'all are the authorities here.
A little odd, and once I made contact with my peers in some of the other major cities, and they shared with me some of their experiences over there, the decision really was very easy. My interest as police chief is the citizens of the city.
Yes, sir.
Period. And I was not about to jeopardize the safety under an exercise of this magnitude under any circumstance.
Well, you can't say it any better than that. This isn't some wild conspiracy theorist. This is Al Philippus, head police chief in San Antonio, Texas. Oh, and the mayor, too, Howard Peak. He says that it's dangerous and that they're dishonest.
I know that they wanted to use some explosives for entry into some of these buildings, some of the so-called ceramic bullets, which would be fired into little traps, which were supposed to catch those, which would disintegrate supposedly on contact. But I know that in one city, American city, that one of those bullets got astray and going through a window and down almost into a restaurant. So things can go wrong.
What city was that?
I believe that it was in Miami.
That's incredible. So basically right now, as it stands, and until they actually confer with y'all better or change their plans, they're not really welcome to train here in San Antonio?
We are not going to support any of their operations. They may do some things at the various military bases here in San Antonio. That certainly is their jurisdiction, but we will not support any operations in the city limits.
We really count on law enforcement officials locally like y'all to protect the people and uphold the law. And again, I just want to commend you for recognizing some of the behavior of the Delta Force and expelling them.
Well, I appreciate that. Again, the decision really was not that difficult. We have the interests of the citizens of San Antonio. This is a military city. We have a tremendous amount of respect for the military and what they do. But I do not have any respect for the tactics that were used by the advance team coming in here.
You're saying that they were disrespectful?
They were courteous and friendly to us, to our faces, but again, when you make a decision, you try to get information, to go around and try to put influence on you from pressure groups and individuals, either elected or in the community.
The interview you just saw was conducted in mid-May of 1998. Delta Force did visit San Antonio. Later the next year, during Operation Last Dance, held February 8th through February 20th. They also smashed into Kingsville, Port Aransas, Alice, Texas, Corpus Christi. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, and other towns. This is absolutely out of control. We're about to go through this story in sequential order. In some cases, especially in the case of Port Aransas, the local authorities were not even warned before massive military training, if you can call it that, was engaged in. Right here in America, it is clear psychological warfare against the police, the public, and everyone else in this nation, conditioning us to accept a militarized police state. It's basic terrorism, and I'm sad to say that about our military. But I forgot, it's Bill Clinton's military, isn't it? We can only imagine what's coming in the future with other administrations. This is an evil precedent that has been set. On the night of February 8th, 1999, right after my radio show, I got the word the Delta Force had smashed into the first of 6 towns, Kingsville, Texas. We got in the car, drove through the night to the South Texas coast, right in the middle of Texas oil country. It was incredibly surreal. Shades of Blade Runner.
Boy, we can still smell the fire. You fixing this area where it burned through?
Yes, sir. This is security.
Hey, how you doing? Alex Jones from Austin, Texas. I got a radio show and a little TV show. What's your name?
Jerry McQueen.
Jerry McQueen?